Okay, first thing I did was I measured from that stake to the fence, and I measured from that stake to the fence. It's equal distance, and it's 40 foot from that stake to that stake, and it's another 15 feet from that stake to the other corner, and 15 from that stake there to this one. I've already squared it. It's 15 by 40 squared based off of the fence, and I've placed the 2x4 treated on the 3 sides. This side's going to be modified for the door, so there's no getting up over a 2x4 to get inside the greenhouse, so that's why that's not there yet. This is my 1-inch EMT, and I'm cutting into thirds, so that's 3 foot 4 inches, so I'll get 3 even pieces of 40 inches each. Okay, to cut this 1-inch pipe, I've used a pipe cutter. Normally it's used, or I used it for cutting copper pipe, but it cuts this pipe very well also. So you put it on here, you spin it a few times, tighten this knob a little, spin it a few more times, tighten, spin, spin, tighten and spin. Just keep doing that. And there you go. Okay, I've cut all the 3 foot 4 inch sections all the way around, and I've started driving them into the ground, leaving 16 inches above, but I marked the distance every 5 foot, so each rib of the greenhouse is going to be 5 foot apart, and you'll notice the mark here, and I always put a little triangle to indicate that that's actually the mark, so I don't see something and think, oh, that's not the mark, or that is the mark, and put something in the wrong place. Learned that a long time ago. But I'm going to show you a trick to putting these in the ground. And I leave 16 inches above, and the purpose of that is so that when I put the 3/4 inch EMT in it, I can raise or lower it to the height that I want. It gives me some play, and it gives me a little additional height if I want to come up out of the ground, so, or come up off the ground some. But each one of these 2 foot's in the ground and 16 are above. Okay, I'm going to show you what I do. I take one of these poles and I follow the line, which the line is stretched tight, and I set it right against the line on the mark on the wood that I put here. And then I put an old piece of scrap wood on top of the pole, and I pound it in. And what that does is that keeps it from burring up the top. Let me show you real quick. I've used this many times. Right here you can see for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like I've put 5 in already. So I'll demonstrate, and then I will show you what the top of one looks like when we're done. Because if you don't use a scrap piece of wood, this is going to booger up bad. So I take where I had it before, I put over the top, I get my sledge, and I get it fairly close to level, and I pound it in just a little bit, and I kind of eye the level. Looks good. So when you're using a sledge, like I think this is a 3-pound, you don't want to work against it because this is a lot of weight, so you want to let the weight do the work. So you lift up, and on the downstroke you put some pressure down, and you just slowly let the weight of the sledge do the work. Alright. You might can see that this isn't perfectly straightened down. That's alright. Just bend it in just a little bit. Alright, now I'm down the ground because I need to get the 16 inches, and right now it's at 19. So I'm going to find my mark, back on, I'm going to get my sledge, get in, check it, look at that, right at 16. Alright. So now I'm going to bring in and show you what the top of this looks like. And see, it's just a little tip for you. If you use an old piece of scrap wood, and after the first time you do it, it'll indent, and then it'll stay perfectly round for you. Most of the time it'll stay perfectly round for you. Okay, I've got all the rib anchors sledged in, and they're all right at 16 inches. It doesn't matter if they're 15 or 17. Really, you want to make sure that the lines are straight and the building's pretty square. I'm not going to fight the level of the ground and re-till it and re-level it and all that, because I want the runoff to be the same. If I do any leveling, it'll be to the ribs themselves.